Now, with being in a new environment, there comes a lot of exciting adventures, but there's also a lot of challenges that tend to pop up. When we asked a group of girls your age that are going through the program, what advice would they give their 13-year-old self? Most of the girls said to not care what others think. I think this is really important to keep in mind when embarking on these new journeys, because sometimes things pop up that you wouldn't even expect. For example, the peer pressure you might face while in college. I know that when you're choosing to be healthy and choosing to do what's best for you, it's common for people to start asking questions and not understanding why you're making these choices and why you're not having the third or fourth slice of pizza when they are. And this is really hard to deal with sometimes. A perfect example of this is actually Casey, because she has gone through this journey herself, and it's not easy, but I watch her every day deal with these sorts of situations and deal with her peers asking her questions. And watching her overcome this has been phenomenal to watch. So, Casey is here to talk a little bit about her story and some advice for you all.
Hi everyone. So when I first started trying to be more healthy, it was a really interesting process in terms of how I thought about food and my diet and like how it would fit into my daily life. And I think a lot of that kind of thinking around it and the anxiety that surrounds it is from peer pressure that kind of surrounds eating healthy. For one, when you first start trying to eat healthier, or like people in your life are eating healthier, I've always noticed that people just really want to reward you for doing a good job, or they think that one bite of whatever they want you to try will be okay. My personal problem is that I'm not a one bite kind of a person. I always want the whole cake or the whole carton of ice cream, or the whole hamburger.
Me too.
So that doesn't really work. And so I didn't really know how to deal with that. Like, how do you say no to people when they're just being so insistent and offering you nice things, but you don't want to ruin your diet? And then another thing that's hard when you first start trying to be healthier is, when I grew up and was in school, being healthy was not the cool thing to do. And what I mean by that is, when we go places and we do things, we bring our own food, and that's not necessarily that cool, But I didn't want to experience the FOMO of not being able to go out with my friends and eat dinner with those places, or when we all would go to Disneyland and we would want to eat out, I would bring my own food. And at first, people would be like, why don't you just eat here? Why isn't it, something that you could do? But I really needed a way to tell everyone and tell myself that I needed to make healthy choices. And that's why I personally decided to go vegan. Well, that and a lot of other reasons. But for me, it was an easy way for me to tell everyone that nope, I couldn't have that because that wasn't in my diet, and that was something that was really important to me, because at the end of the day, one more bite of ice cream isn't going to make you feel better, but being healthy will make you feel better, and that's something I want. And so it held me accountable, because all my friends knew, so they knew that they had to support me in that. I couldn't be eating all these cheeseburgers and cakes in front of them if I really was being vegan, and they were holding me to that. But it also allowed me to have the justification of bringing my own food and not caring about it. And it was something that I really had to take a stance and be like, no, this is my diet.
So basically, the moral of this story, or I think a huge takeaway we can all take from this, is it's really important to remember to make this commitment to yourself. And it's not about anyone else. At the end of the day, you're the one that deals with yourself and the decisions you make. And I think Casey can probably agree with
Yes.
that. Be healthy!